Welcome to Saturday Night Hype, and I told you it'd be groundbreaking. It is the first ever women's match in CIW history. Lara Croft, Padme Amidala, I am the colonist. Let's get it on. I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally, after 9 years of existence, be launching this women's division. It is something that I have dragged my scraggly little feet on and have finally gotten it for your viewing pleasure. Now, this is not for the Women's Championship. We're going to decide that later on in our June show, which is way ahead of time. But this is going to be the first demonstration, if you will, the first little injection of women's matches into CIW programming, where they will end up being a regular occurrence, or at least the Women's Championship match will be. And we've already got a list of 8 women's roster members to start, and more will be coming as the weeks and months and years progress. But Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series, ready to make an impression here in CIW. I'm told she has quite a long lineage of major accomplishments in the EFED world and the wrestling world. Here comes Padme, and I'm not quite sure what that headwear is, that little skull cap, or what it says on it, but Padme, obviously her track record goes without saying, both in the wrestling world as well as her accomplishments on the field and off, as it were, you know, as Queen Amidala. And thankfully her decoy is not here, and she's not going to get blown up in a speeder accident, quote unquote. But I am a little curious to see what that headwear is all about, because Padme is not really known to wear headgear, and I can't quite make out what it says on the headband, but maybe we'll find that out. And here we go. We're going to go right into this. First women's match ever on CIW here on Saturday Night Hype. And we start with a collar and elbow tie-up, and now looking for a big backbreaker to start out by Padme. Of course, both these women want to secure the very first win, the landmark win in the women's division of CIW. Obviously makes it a little bit more interesting as far as what their momentum will be like when we finally do get to launching a women's championship, which we have already had our belt crafters create. So we have already got that set up, and that's just coming down the pipeline. All of this getting ready for a WrestleBration event where they're, oh, what a kick by Lara Croft with those big boots. And referee John Goodman assigned to this contest, doing both of our hype matches here on Saturday Night Hype. Of course, getting for February 4th, the WrestleBration Exceeds Championship, Tag Championships, World's Championship on the line, Best of 3 Falls match between Prince of Persia and Symbiote Spider-Man, the original match. All of that coming to you in about 2 weeks' time. And, of course, a big Shades of Black triple threat match next week in the Get All of Our Aggression Out so we can move on as a group match. And another shot to the arm. Doesn't want Padme to hit that Amidala slam. And meanwhile, on the other side, Lara Croft with the Tomb Raider. And both of those devastating maneuvers could take down the opponent very easily here in our first women's match. Now a collar and elbow tie-up by Padme, countered by Lara. And Lara with a big backbreaker of her own. And both of these women, you know, very athletic, of course, are known to be navigating very treacherous areas in their cannons of their respective cannons. And now a wrench to the leg attack, take a drink, or a scoop of ice cream, depending on how you're feeling. And don't forget, folks, at the WrestleBration, we're going to get the Exceeds Championship match. Noob Saibot versus Sephiroth, barn burner of a matchup there for the Exceeds title. We've got the tag titles that were won by Aquaman and Batman, and they're going to be defended against the former champions in Credizone in their tag rematch. And of course, the world title rematch between Kratos and Wario. Stay tuned, WrestleBration. It is going to be a huge one-day event on February the 4th to celebrate 9 years of CIW's existence, and we'll see what happens after that. I have laid down the challenge for 2 nights. Oh, wait a second. Big forearm by Padme, hitting those facial complexions of Lara. Will that be enough to put her away? And Lara a little bit dazed, but now right back into it. And now, who's going to gain the advantage here? So far, neither woman really able to gain a solid advantage. And as I was about to say, the major 2-day event, at least if the gigantic pussy in TAW's management decides to accept my challenge of a 2-day super card, because after all, I have decided to put an end to this madness and put an end to this nonsense and finally do what I should have done from the beginning and just take over and beat them to a pulp and prove that CIW is superior. And oh, what a leg wrench. Now, another big leg wrench and trying to eliminate that vertical base so that Padme can't get Lara up for that Amidala slam. And very smart tactics by Lara Croft. And the agility factor probably is, I would say probably even if I were to guess, even though Lara does have the height advantage. Nice hip toss there from Padme. And now another right hand, and I'm telling you folks, CIW's talent is prepared. Oh, what a great spinning neck breaker there. Padme really starting to add and go against all of the body parts here, trying to weaken Lara down. Those large legs, of course, have got to be a factor for Padme. Both of these two really giving it their all here in their first ever women's match, and now just raining down right hands, it looks like. There's, oh, and only got one in before Padme was able to counter. And as we saw in that match with the turncoat, the backstabber, the heartbreaker, Dr. Dirty, against CIW's loyal Waluigi, those 10 punches practically concussed Waluigi, and then let's not forget the gigantic boot to the skull that busted him open, and a nice gut suplex there, Northern Lights if you will, by Padme, who is really getting a good combination of agility and power moves. You know, you got to give credit to Padme there for getting a lot of these lifts in for Lara Croft, who right now has been at the mercy of Padme's textbook wrestling vertical suplex. Very nice vertical suplex, but Lara's staying in it. Both of these women very resilient in their endeavors, and of course looking to prove that resilience here in CIW. But which one of these two will walk out with that long sought after W here in the historic first ever CIW women's match? Oh, and a nice arm drag counter by Padme as Lara was charging in, and Padme had the wherewithal to grab her by the arm, and now wrenching the back and the arms of Lara Croft is Padme Amidala. Will this be enough to get Lara Croft to tap out? And I think the only thing that would be more humiliating in this, in CIW, than to be a part of TAW or have that stench on your name, is to lose by submission in the first ever match your division has. So I don't think that Lara Croft is going to do that. And oh, now Padme, maybe just trying to get a little breather, is Lara, but Padme careened out of the outside, just vaulted, and now wait a second, springboard and a moonsault that kind of lands. I don't know if that totally landed, and it clearly didn't, because Padme is now back on her feet, or about to be back on her feet. Here with these two, it has been a wild January here as far as the matches of CIW and what's been going on in the world of CIW and what it means for the rest of the E-Federation world. And now look at this. What a show of power, and a reverse suplex by Lara Croft after that textbook vertical suplex from Padme. Lara dishing it out a little bit. And both these women, oh, wait a second. Amidala slam. It's going to be a big one. And she nailed it. Amidala slam. Will that be enough to put Lara Croft away? The cover. Oh, not even a 1 count. Wow. Wow. Not even a 1 count as Lara Croft gets right back up from the Amidala slam. That is a tough woman right there, and she's proving it here with a couple of hard knife-edge chops. Both these women really giving it their all here, and now look at this West Coast pop. Very agile, will cover 1, 2, and oh, and a kick out from Padme, who, if you notice, was covering her face. I can only imagine with traversing all of those ancient tombs, what those clothing, what those shorts that Lara's wearing smell like. Not trying to be creepy about it, but being practical about it. She's in a lot of dirty places, so I'm guessing they're pretty dirty shorts. You know, I don't know what, I do not know what Lara's bathing habits are. I don't know any of these women's bathing habits, nor any of the men's, for that matter. I don't know what any of these two people do when they bathe. That we've made multiple mentions of the stank wafting through the air when they walk by the commentary desk. So, you know, that's one of those kind of don't ask, don't tell situations. You know, we as businessmen prefer not to ask the talent those sorts of questions. And back to the match. Big hip toss by Lara. as now Padme not looking too hot, as she's taken a flurry of major moves from Lara Croft and those big long feet and long legs. And look at the shoe size of Lara Croft, and you know, she has not got small feet, and she is using every bit of them, and you can see those toe kicks. Moonsault again, and this one landed about as much as the first one did, which is, you know, maybe like 30%, which is pretty accurate as far as what we normally get from the wrestlers here. You know, diving moves, they do a lot of them, but it's not their specialty. And now just slamming the face of Padme Amidala into that steel steps. Lara Croft is not pulling any punches here. She's going for 2 moonsaults. She's slamming the face against the steel. Referees count up to 6 now. Is John Goodman going to count Padme out? And Padme gets in at the count of 7. Went for another kick there, did Lara Croft. Now a good jab to the face, but a counter by Lara. Wait a second. There it is, the Tomb Raider, and she got all of it. She got all of it, and that could be it. Padme looks at, oh, no, I guess not. Padme with a straight-up no-sell, and now both women have no-sold each other's finisher, which means that these two are really in it to win it. And I appreciate that fight. I appreciate that drive to launch CIW's women's division into the future. A 2023 groundbreaking episode here, folks. Do not adjust your sets. Do not switch that tab off. You are seeing it right. CIW has gotten with the times and launched the women's division. Lara Croft versus Padme. And right now, Padme with a big chin lock. And not enough to get Lara to tap, but Padme starting to feel the pain here. Both these women have been going for some time now. Which one of them is going to end up with that essential 3-count pinfall submissions, of course, countouts, disqualifications, all active. And hopefully this won't end in a disqualification or a count out. Referee John Goodman is the one who has that discretion. At the end of the day, if there is a disqualification, it's more than likely called for, knowing John Goodman. And another huge hip toss from Padme Amidala. And now Lara's starting to look a little hurt. And boy, this has been a back and forth excursion from the start. And I don't know who's going to win this now. You know, I didn't really... My thought was that Lara with the size advantage would be the one who would end up more power gaming Padme. But Padme stuck with it. I mean, another reverse... a spinning neck breaker. And Lara is down and now back on her feet. But she's starting to feel it. Padme's starting to feel it. Fatigue setting in for both of these stars. And oh, what a big back body drop. Padme still gaining some momentum here. If she hits another Amidala slam, that could be the end of the match. And now going for another hip toss. The move of choice here for both of these women, but it has been pretty effective. And now Padme, big forearm. Big forearm knocked Lara off her feet, or at least up and over, flipped from upwards, stomach up to stomach down on the mat, but a big drop kick. Trying to change that momentum back in Lara's favor. Now a counter. Wait a minute. Amidala slam. Getting a second Amidala slam. And that could do it. And now and another no sell. As Lara getting right back into it. It's almost like these women are hitting their major moves that would normally pin other women, but it's almost firing these two women up to keep fighting. And that is the spirit of competition I love so much in Colonial Impact Wrestling. The only place you'll find it is Colonial Impact Wrestling. No matter who gets in our way and who tries to keep us down, we will always prove that we have the superior wrestling, and the only way you're going to know that, folks, is to hit that like button, share, subscribe, switch the bell button to all, and stay tuned for our major show, the WrestleBration, 9 years running, February the 4th. Of course, this is Saturday night. Hype! And this is a major women's match, and Lara going up to the top, miss! Didn't even come close, and maybe should have taken Padme a little further away from the ring ropes there in order to hit that elbow drop. But a textbook vertical suplex puts her right where she probably should have been for that elbow drop, to be honest with you. But Lara still trying to get it, and now just slaps. Not a slap in the head of Padme, trying to disorient her a little bit, and not to avail. Padme again getting advantage. Man, who's going to win this match? And a nice rolling senton there from Padme Amidala, who continues to fight. And so long as she's in a happy mood, she's going to get through this. The second she gets sad, she's going to die. And now renting the arms wrenching the arms and the back of Lara Croft, still trying to make sure that that back is wounded enough where maybe she can't get Padme up for that Tomb Raider. But then again, all bets are off when it comes to finishing moves at this point. It's been 3 finishers and not a single cover for the lot of them. That meant a damn. And now another counter. And both of these women showing some ferocity in their strikes. Something that is a welcome sight here in CIW. And which one of these two is going to win our first ever women's match? Oh, wait a second. Going for another big Tomb Raider. Bam! And that has got to be it. The second Tomb Raider. The cover now from Lara. Could it be over? 1, 2, 3. What a matchup. Those two women gave it their all. Gave it their damnedest. Padme gets a firm set of props. What a matchup for these two women. Lara comes out on top. An impressive debut from CIW's women's division. I have very high hopes for what this means for the future. And folks, you're going to have to stay tuned for what happens with CIW's women's division. But until then, we got one more night, a Saturday night hype next week, and then the WrestleBration on the 4th, on February 4th. Thank you very much for watching. Lara wins. We'll see you next time.